So let's go to Chiefs at Ravens, guys. We got Ravens laying 3.5 at home. Total is at 45. Nate, we'll start with you. What are you looking at for this game?
Yeah, so this is definitely not my favorite bet, but in terms of like a side or total for this game, if I had to pick one, it'd be under at 44.5.
Ooh.
I do want to talk about first kind of what I'm thinking about in terms of the side for this game that kind of reopened Ravens -3 and has gotten slowly bet out a little bit, which not surprising because the Chiefs did play well in Buffalo, but I think because it was a close game and the Bills missed a field goal that could have prevented overtime, I think there might be a little bit of doubt that the Chiefs can go to Baltimore with a short week of rest or less prep because the Ravens played on Saturday over 24 hours after or before the Chiefs did, and then Mahomes back on the road if they could win this game. And I totally understand that. Like if I had to make a line for this game, it'd be closer to Ravens -4, -4.5 when you factor in the situation. However, I don't want to step in front of Patrick Mahomes as an underdog because last week he was very good. But then I'll say this, and the reason I like the under was the Chiefs offense good because they are, found something that we haven't seen the regular season, or was the Bills back 7 really banged up and tired? I think it's more of the latter, and that's why I kind of like the under. I think the Chiefs offense doesn't find the success that they did against the Bills defense because the Ravens have a fresh defense and they're a very well coached defense with Mike McDonald as their DC, who's going to be a head coach and probably next season. So in that case, I just going to go under because I do like the Chiefs defense more than their offense, and I also don't know if the Chiefs offense can have a repeat performance even though they have the best quarterback in the world.
Yeah, I'm going to take that under and just apply it to the Chiefs and do everything kind of like you said. I don't know if the Chiefs can score over 20 points. I'll have under 20.5 for their team total as my bet for this game. And we talked about it. The Bills defense was not good, to say the least. It was a bunch of guys off the street, second and third stringers. It was pretty easy for the Chiefs to move the ball on them. Now they play the best defense in the NFL, and arguably the Ravens give up 17 points per game at home, best in the NFL in that stat. They didn't allow a defensive touchdown against the Texans. They allowed a kick return touchdown, but if they didn't allow that, they would have allowed 3 points in a playoff game, which is really impressive for this type of defense. I trust the Ravens defense completely against this Patrick Mahomes team, and I've talked about how I don't trust the Chiefs that much, especially offensively with drop catches, and they just seem like they've taken a step back this year. So I think we see a little bit of that regression now that they play a really good defense against the Ravens. So I will happily take their team total under 20.5. Colby, we'll go to you. What do you like?
Boys, what's the best kind of bet?
One that you win.
Outside of that, it's one where you're the most uncomfortable with about, in my opinion.
Is it? Okay. You like being uncomfortable.
I agree with that.
I'm beyond uncomfortable with this play. I'm taking the Chiefs.
Wow.
And there's not much for me to say why, except for I think the number's low. I think it's a little low based on how good the Ravens are. The Ravens are going to be the best defense the Chiefs have seen in quite some time. And everything points Ravens, and that's why I am taking the dog.
You sound so uncomfortable right now.
I'm squeezing my hands together at the moment. It's a very uncomfortable play. I can't doubt Patrick Mahomes, no matter what the spread is or what the doubters are saying. I think he's the greatest thing that ever happened to this sport. And
wow,
I have to take the Chiefs.
Mahomes is a dog. It's tough to bet against Mahomes as a dog. You both said it.
When in doubt, you don't know what to do. Take the dog. Like what's
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, everyone was worried about.
It'll probably go up to 4.5. 4.5 is the perfect number.
Yeah, and everyone said Mahomes on the road in a playoff game. How is he going to do? And he went to Buffalo, a very tough environment. I know it was against the bad defense, but he performed really well. So he answered a lot of those questions that people had about playoff game on the road. Baltimore's a different story though with the defense.
Yeah,
as we talked about.
The only concern.
I don't blame you if you like the Chiefs, just because you're getting Mahomes over a field goal on the road, and at the same time, there's still some questions. The Ravens might be the best team in the NFL. I'd say that along with the 49ers, but they're definitely not like perfect teams. There's definitely flaws in them. And, the Chiefs have a very good coaching staff themselves who can match up well against the Ravens coaching staff, maybe others than your boy Matt Nagy. But
don't get cute, dude.
I would just say, you have Mahomes. Mahomes is an underdog, and I think you liked him.
I liked him for half a season.
You complimented him like a few weeks ago.
Did I?
I feel like you did.
I must have blacked out.
Word to Matt
Nagy.
Let's not get cute this weekend. Let's just get the job done.
Yeah, if you heard that coming from me, I'm sorry.
Anyway, I don't blame you for liking the
Thank
Chiefs
you.
because it is Mahomes getting over a field goal. And I do see this line going
It's gross.
to 4, though.
It's
just based
disgusting.
on, as we record on a Wednesday, there is even some Ravens -4 out there. So it seems like the sharp side is on the Ravens at home, the more rested team who kind of had a light sweat last week against the Texans, let's say that.
So we have some props that we wanted to get to before the end of this segment here. This is one of the first, I think, in Stadium Bets history, a whole prop segment. So if you love props, this is the place to be.
Yeah.
We will start with Colby. You have a prop in the AFC title game. What do
Get
you
ready
like?
to laugh, boys.
Yeah, what do you
Lamar
like?
Jackson over rush yards. And
Wow.
I think my
Who would've
argument
thought?
should just end after I just say this. Josh Allen last week had 72 yards on the ground against the Chiefs. And we can all admit, excuse me, that Lamar is a significantly more agile and better runner than Josh Allen. Last week, Lamar Jackson also had 100 on the ground against the Texans. The Chiefs are going to have some issues with the run game and with him doing whatever he wants to do on the field.
Yeah,
I like this prop a lot.
Not a bad bet. I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes over a half of an interception. I think he throws a
jerk.
pick. Yeah, the Ravens average 1 interception a game defensively. Mahomes on the road this season, he's thrown 2 picks, double-digit picks in 3 out of 7 road games this season. He has an interception percentage of 2.6% on the road, which is good for 11th in the NFL. He hasn't thrown an interception in 3 weeks, and I hate to say, he's due because you never bet on something because you think it's due. But
Unless it's
with
baseball.
the way this game script is going to be coming out, I think the Ravens are going to have the lead for most of this game. More passes means more chances for an interception from Mahomes. And at -120, I'll take over an interception for Patrick Mahomes. Nate?
My prop in this game is Lamar Jackson under passing yards. And I was kind of debating between passing yards or passing attempts. For this segment, I'm going to go yards.
A low number.
211.5. But I think it's correlated to your bet, Colby, where you think he's going to run a lot. You think that the Ravens are going to kind of do what the Bills did against the Chiefs, where it's a lot of quarterback runs, a lot of running back runs, and you just don't want to throw against the Chiefs unless you have to, like if you're down in the game, like kind of like how the Bills were. But L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, really good cornerbacks. The Ravens do have solid wide receivers, but they don't have like a number 1 alpha kind of guy who could, win that matchup against those guys. So I think it's just kind of also a game script thing where I think the Ravens are going to win if they're playing with the lead and in a positive game script. Then I think they're going to run the ball more, and it's going to be less passing yards for Lamar Jackson. So if you're an SGP player, I think you could definitely go Lamar under in terms of passing stats. I'll say passing yards, but over his rushing yards. I think those correlate pretty well.